I'll have to sit down. An old lady like me needs to sit down. Okay. So this afternoon, I'm going to share with you our experience as the only university-based testing center in the Philippines authorized by the Republic of Korea's Ministry of Education to administer the test of proficiency in Korean, internet-based test, otherwise known as the topic IBT. I hope to provide insights on the challenges and opportunities associated with conducting the test, as well as the growing importance of digital technology in assessing Korean language proficiency. So if you are like me, you're probably amazed and at the same time overwhelmed by how fast technologies change in all aspects of our lives. Language education and assessment are no exception. At Ateneo, our decision to be a topic IBT center reflects our commitment to keep pace with global linguistic trends, leaning towards online digital assessment. TOPIC is a globally recognized assessment of proficiency in the Korean language. It evaluates language skills in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But you already know that because as Korean language educators, I think, and I'm assuming that many of you have taken the topic. May I please see a show of hands? How many of you have taken topic? Whether it's paper-based, computer-based, or topic IBT. Okay, I see. All right. So TOPIC is a standardized test taken by individuals who have learned Korean for various purposes, such as further education, employment, and cultural engagement. Many of you are familiar with the paper-based and computer-based topic, and both of which can be taken online. Offline. Sorry. Internet-based topic is an alternative testing format launched by the National Institute for International Education, or NIIED, in November last year. The NIIED is an agency under the Republic of Korea's Ministry of Education that is responsible for developing and managing topic, overseeing test content, administration, registration, and score reporting. So the NIIED first reached out to us on March 25, 2022, through a message on the Ateneo Korean Studies Facebook page. Opo, PM was the key. They asked us if we were interested in becoming an authorized topic IBT center in the Philippines and in participating in at least 2 trial tests before the official launch of the topic IBT. From there, we had a series of Zoom meetings and email exchanges. We sent a letter of intent written by the Dean of the School of Social Sciences. And shortly after, we were advised to submit a budget proposal for the first trial test, as well as photos and the layout of the testing rooms. Preparation for the first trial topic IBT began after the NIIED approved our proposed budget. Since the Korean Studies program does not have its own computer labs, we had to borrow from other departments. So we had to ask, for instance, the Department of the Department of basta yung computer science department, and also the ECCE department. No, so we had we had to ask them to let us use their computer labs because we don't have our own. And we had to provide NIIED, the specs of the computer units and laptops, and their technical team coordinated with the Ateneo team from the Digital Information Technology Services Office. Now, again, there was a series of Zoom meetings and email exchanges for the technical training and software installation. The technical coordination was all done remotely. So it was a series of Zoom meetings, one after the other, no? And the software installed was Korean, or was in Korean. It was a Korean software in Korean. And this proved to be a tremendous challenge for our IT personnel who could not read Hangul. So the English manual was not sent until 2 weeks before the trial test. So this is already an improved version. Imagine being the IT personnel looking at this, strange characters. What am I going to do with it? Okay, no. It was also difficult for us who had to do the translation and interpretation because we were, and still are, not very familiar with technical terms. Our technical team had to rely mostly on the graphics and illustrations in the manual. 2 days before the actual test, a mock test was conducted to evaluate the reliability of the system in our local servers. We had another mock test the day before the trial test. So aside from providing the fund for the conduct of the first trial topic IBT, the NIIED also sent the Hangul keyboards and headsets from Korea. We announced the registration for the test and accepted applications a month earlier. Ateneo alumni, as well as undergraduate and extramural students, were given priority. We sent the applicants' details to the NIIED, and they came up with the room assignments and registration numbers. We hosted the first trial topic IBT on September 24, 2022. On the day of the test, the Korean Studies Program faculty served as proctors, and we had student volunteers who assisted with registration. So each proctor was paired with an IT personnel. The first trial test consisted of topic speaking. Yes, there is such a test called topic speaking. And topic 1 IBT. There were only 3 who took topic speaking, and thank God all of them passed. While out of the 54 topic 1 test takers, unfortunately, 1 failed. We sent the results later than the announced date because we did not know that test takers could check online and download the report. That was how naive we were, or non-techie we are. We were and we are still. All the while, we were waiting for NIIED to send us the results. They did send the results by email, but only after we requested for them, and we forwarded the results to the examinees in December, which, like I said, was late because we promised them we would send the results in November. With the success of the first trial test, NIIED sent us the draft Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, in January 2023. The University Legal and Compliance Office made a thorough, very thorough review of the document. It was sent back and forth for revisions. The parties, meaning Ateneo and NIAED, had to compromise on certain provisions. Some concessions had to be made until in April 2023, Dr. Charina Saloma Akpedinu, the Dean of the School of Sciences, and I flew to Korea for the MOU signing. And oh, I also got a plaque of appreciation. Okay, so like I said, NIEED required us to conduct 2 trial tests. And so we followed the same process we did previously for the second trial topic IBT, which was held on August 19, 2023. However, only 18 out of the 25 who registered showed up, and we attributed the low turnout to the day of the test being a holiday. It was, after all, Quezon City Day. Only topic 2 IBT was administered during the trial test. Honestly, we were not able to check the passing rate since examinees did not have to rely on us anymore for the test scores. Level up na sila. Okay? So they checked and downloaded their own results from the topic website. We just provided guidelines how to do it. So the second trial test was easier to administer because, one, instead of relying on the local server in the testing room, the server was hosted directly and remotely by the NIIED. So unlike in the first trial test, there was no need to install any software, only the Korean language, because of course they need that for topic 2 during the writing part of the test, and the Naver Whale browser. We were also given institutional access to the Test Management System, or TMS, which has both Korean and English language options. So now, our IT personnel are no longer complaining. Okay, so as you can see here, there's the English option. An English version of the TMS operational manual was made available to the administrator and technical staff. A web-based topic IBT manual in both Korean for our Korean professor and English for us were provided to the test proctors. Oh, one slide is missing. Anyway, an English version of the topic IBT guidelines from the NIIED was sent to the test takers. So just like in the first trial test, the second one was also a success. We did not experience any computer glitch or connectivity issue. And because of the success of the 2 trial tests, we were confident during the launch of the first topic IBT on November 18, 2023. More so because the NIIED technical team arrived from Korea and collaborated with our technical team to ensure the integrity of the computer systems and stable connectivity. Together, they provided other IT-related support services prior to and throughout the test. 2 days before the test, during the mock test, some computers kept getting offline, unable to connect to the server. So it was very stressful for us. It got us very worried, but our technical team was able to resolve the issue. They had to disable the Windows update during setup because it was in conflict with the installation software. or at least that was their explanation to us. Okay? A total of 142 examinees from different parts of the country took the first topic IBT. Some came from as far as Davao, Bicol, Pampanga, and La Union. Topic 1 was administered in the morning and topic 2 in the afternoon. Just like in the 2 trial tests, we did not encounter any issue during the actual day of the test. So, looking back and contemplating on the challenges we had to face in administering the topic IBT at Ateneo, I can say that with proper planning and coordination, major problems are unlikely to arise. Many of the concerns we had during the trial tests were addressed before the first topic IBT. But of course, there will always be applicants who fail to comprehend and follow instructions. For instance, even if you tell them to submit an unaltered photo with white background, they would still upload a photoshopped photo with red or blue background. Then there's also the problem of our inbox being inundated with unnecessary emails and messages. Some applicants would still ask for the payment details immediately after they have registered, when they have been informed that they will receive them after the registration period and not after the registration. However, the opportunities far outweigh these minor issues and problems. More than anything, the administration of a standardized test, such as TOPIK, offers a valid and reliable assessment of the Korean Studies program's performance as a knowledge provider and help it make decisions regarding curriculum adjustments and faculty development. In the same way that when you ask your students to take the topic IBT and you get to know their test results, you will somehow have an inkling of how you can improve yourselves as teachers and how you can reach out to those who failed. How you can be a better teacher and how can you help your students learn better. Moreover, when we applied to be an authorized topic IBT testing center, we had in mind the eventual opening of centers in other Ateneos that can provide easy access to test takers in the provinces. We plan to identify testing centers with high passing rates and recommend areas where such centers are located for Korean tourists to visit, for instance. Additionally, we aim to help facilitate opportunities for Korean investors to establish businesses and relocate to other regions by providing policy papers and briefers to the Korean embassy and local government units involved. The increased use of digital technology in assessing Korean language proficiency is likely to prevail. Topic IBT offers a more accessible and efficient assessment experience. By the way, not this. Okay, so we will be conducting the third topic on June 8, 2024. You may refer to our post on our Facebook page for the details. We have informed the NIIED that we are not participating in the second topic IBT because you might find it strange that why are they administering the third topic when they haven't conducted the second topic yet. The second topic IBT is actually scheduled today. But because the date is too close to our Holy Week break, so we had to back off. So we told NIIED that we can't participate. Recently, my colleagues and I had the opportunity to present at a conference where innovative applications of artificial intelligence, AI, the metaverse, augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, in Korean language education were presented and discussed. As digital technologies continue to evolve, the Ateneo de Manila University would like to be at the forefront of these exciting developments. Administering the topic IBT has provided us valuable insights on significant advancements in the field of language assessment and is a step further towards this goal. Yun lang po. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Professor Javier, for sharing with us the transformation of the assessment of Korean language proficiency through the integration of digital technology. Thank you, Bob. Okay. So now I think the open forum, the question will be later on. Okay. Now to provide us with an overview of the first foreign language program in the Philippines, let's extend a warm welcome to Ariza Julia A. Inocencio Songsingmin of West Visayas State University. Let's give her a hearty round of applause.
So just setting off, I just want to say that it's been an honor to be invited to this workshop and to be able to share and present to you our program in Iloilo. So thank you very much to the UP Research Center, especially Professor Ben for the resource compounding that. Okay, so you're gonna take a look at my screen here. So I have here, I'm baffled. What's baffled? So the peaks and valleys in the life of a Korean major. So a lot of you might be curious, or most of you might be curious or baffled. What's baffled? So baffled actually stands for the Bachelor of Arts in Foreign Languages offered in the university I'm affiliated with, which is the WBSU under the College of Arts and Sciences. Okay, so to give you an introduction about my university, WBSU stands with West Visayas State University. If you've been following some latest news about my university, you might be familiar with this one. But anyways, our school is a very well-known university at Western Visayas. It is hailed as a center of teaching, a center of excellence of teaching education, and one of the top performing nursing and medical schools here in the Philippines. So I am under the College of Arts and Sciences, and you'll see here are the courses offered. And by 2018, our university started offering the Bachelor of Arts in Foreign Languages, making it the first university offering BAFL program. Okay, so you might be curious about what is BAFL. So BAFL here is a 4-year degree course that offers not just studying of foreign languages, but as well as literature and culture of those certain languages. So our primary goal here is to provide students with a particular degree of proficiency and fluency in 2 languages. So far, we're offering 2 major languages. We have here the Korean and Chinese, and the minor subject is Japanese. So basically, if you're taking Korean as your major, your minor is Japanese. If you're taking Chinese as your major, your minor is Japanese. Okay. So I'm going also to introduce you to our faculty. So currently, we have here 4 Korean professors, instructors under our university. So we have here Park Sung-Seng-Min, Han Sung-Seng-Min, Kim Sung-Seng-Min, and yours truly, Arisa Sung-Seng-Min. So I'm the only Filipino instructor teaching Korean. But unlike the other 3, actually, I've only handled 1 or 2 subjects under our program because most of our subjects are actually handled by our native professors. But for other colleges, like for example, business, hospitality management, and also English majors, I've handled their Korean languages. And then also I'm going to introduce you also to our Japanese. and Chinese teachers. So we have here Andromeda Sensei, Nina Sensei, which is also a product of our program, which is my batchmates and classmates. And then we also have Eunice Laushu and Bonard Laushu for the Chinese majors. So currently, the number of BACO students enrolled in our program is 126. So for our first year, we have 37. Our second year, 35. Our third year, 29. And our graduating students are 25. Okay, so a total of 126. And then you might be also curious about the foreign languages subjects that we're offering. So here, I've only included language-related or major subjects. So of course, as a college student, you also take minors or elective classes, right? But for this one, I've only picked language-related majors. So if you're a first-year student, very few language-related subject because you take it together with the minor subjects. So here, we have the Introduction to Language Studies, which is usually being taught by our English professors, and the Introduction to Korean Language, of course, and Communicative Skills in Korean Language 1 and 2. And then, of course, at the second semester, Japanese is introduced. And then when they turn second year, of course, intermediate course and advanced course in Korean language is offered. And then, of course, communicative skills in Japanese language 1 and 2. And then when they turn third year, so mostly subjects na nila is focused mga major in language related. So for this one, we have here the conversational Korean language, Korean language phonetics and phonology, which focuses more on some Korean pronunciation rules. Composition in Korean language focuses more on topic writings. And then we have here the intermediate course in Japanese, theories of language learning and acquisition, language, culture, and society. And then we also have approaches and methods in Korean language teaching. And then lastly, you'll see here the Korean language immersion, nakabone, and breadth. The reason is because this subject here is to be taken last by the third year BACO, meaning the above mentioned subject should be taken early and should end early just for the language immersion. So later on, I'll be discussing also about this. What's this Korean language immersion that we have? And then when you turn fourth year, Korean language literature is introduced. So we have here mga narratives, dramatic genres, poetry. Okay, so we introduced that to our fourth year. And then we also have Korean language culture and civilization, which focus more on Korea's history from the past until the present. And then reading in Korean language, we also have special topics in Korean language. There are actually two, but they're both different. The first special topics in Korean language focus more on Korean dramas. So this subject here is a favorite subject of our fourth year BACO because they're able to watch Korean dramas during class. So the reason why we're offering this one is that mga loan words, borrowed words, buzzwords, so those kinds of words or phrases are not commonly seen in a Korean standard textbook. So you'll only just hear it through mga Korean dramas. So that's the reason why we're also offering special topics in Korean language. And then the other special topics here is the Korean language education, which focuses more on teaching our BACO students how to teach Korean language as a foreign language. So if they plan to teach Korean after they graduate, this one would be a very helpful subject for them. But of course, there's also students not into teaching talaga. That's why we also have business communication in Korean language 1 and 2, which focuses more on expressions or phrases that you usually encounter in a business setting. And then of course, we have the advanced course in Japanese language 1 and 2, and cross-cultural communication. We tackle cultural differences, not just actually in Korea or Japan, but also in China, Spain, other foreign countries, because we want our BACO students to be culturally aware about the differences in culture. Okay, so our international linkages here. First, we have here the Busan National University. So this one here is a donation of schools. So when our program started, we started receiving donations from Busan National University, and the book they gave, we're currently also using that one. And then the other also from still Busan National University is the Korean language immersion that I presented earlier. So originally, this one here is a tour which lasts for 1 month and is designed to immerse and expose our students to the language and culture of Korea. So here, what we do here is that we enroll our BACO students, third-year BACO students, to an intensive language class and also cultural classes. Okay, but if you're gonna notice here, it's online, right? It's because our pioneer batch, my batch actually, when we turned second year during second semester, pandemic happened. So we have to opt with a alternative option. That's why online immersion coming, which is actually quite helpful because if it's, if we go directly to Korea, this would take a lot of time, efforts, also financial because it's 1 month, so it's very expensive. So up until now, we're still having the online language immersion because we have to be considerate sa other students na hindi financially stable. Okay, so you might be curious also, what do BACO students do during immersion? So I have here a video, a short video lang from our pioneer batch posted by the PNU in their page. So let's watch this one. I hope it will play.
오랜만이에요. 잘 지냈어요? 네, 잘 지냈죠. 태국에서 만날 줄 몰랐어요. 어머, 맘스, 여기 있어? 여기서 뭐 하는 거야? 누구랑 같이 있어? 가일라? 나 육아라서 혼자 왔어. 넌? 나도 보고 싶어. 오랜만이야. 요즘 뭐 했어요? 저는 학원에서 언어 선생님으로 일하고 있어요. 한국 초등학생들에게 영어를 가르치고 있어요. 2년 동안 교수로 일하고 있어요. 아이고 형님. 뭐라고요? 왜 저를 형님이랑 부르셨니? 죄송합니다. 왜냐, 저에게는 호랑이엔 총님이 있기 때문입니다. 호랑이는 믿을 수
here for this one. So for a language immersion, actually, this one here is a great help for the BACO students, especially with their listening and speaking skills. So PNU professors actually, or teachers, do not speak English. So as a Korean major, we were forced to speak Korean talaga, which is actually very hard because some of us don't have that confidence when it comes to speaking, especially that we're afraid to make mistakes. But our PNU teachers are very considerate, understanding, and they push us to speak Korean talaga, which is actually very helpful. That's why after the immersion, there is an improvement, even though it's a little improvement with their speaking and listening skill. But still, even though it's a little improvement, it's still a progress. Okay, so after immersion, we also receive diplomas or certificate that indicates the level that we had during the Korean language immersion. So after we graduate, we can use this one as like an enhancement for our resumes or CV. Okay. Another also is our partnership with PEWA's Women's University through English Korean language exchange program. So under this one, this is also online. So there will be 20 minutes free talking, so 10 minutes in English, and then 10 minutes for Filipinos to practice their Korean speaking skills. But sometimes it can exceed siya to 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the topics they're having, because again, it's free talking. And then also we have here the Foreign Languages Student Society. So basically this one here is an organization of our BAFL program. So here we held cultural activities, like for example, our acquaintance party, which we call Akwe. So here, the purpose of this one is to foster camaraderie among our BAFL students, specifically for our freshman students. So far, our concepts and themes are like this. And then just last year, we had the Magical Garden theme. Okay, so another cultural activities that we have is the well-known language festival. So this one here is an event adapted and hosted by the FLSS organization. It is a 2-day event actually, but originally it started on 2007 as a citywide event. Okay, so sadly, after pandemic, it becomes a student organization organized event and is only held 2 days. Which is actually saddening because the main purpose of language festival is for the citizens of Iloilo, because during that time it is a groundbreaking idea that no other city had. Okay, so here we also promote different foreign languages to the people. So far these are themes and concepts during the language festival, and also have a short video here. Okay, so that's for the language festival. And then of course our graduates, we have 2 batches na nakagraduate na. So our pioneer batch, which is my batch, graduated last 2022. And then just last year, we had our Korean majors and Chinese majors. Okay, so some possible careers, here are actually some lists of some possible careers that our BACPO students might be interested after they graduate. But of course, there are certain jobs there that require, higher level of education and also proficiency in the said or major language. That's why we encourage our BACPO students that after you graduate, you still have to continue studying. Okay? But mostly, or some of our graduates are foreign languages instructors. So some work mostly in state universities or colleges. Some also works in high school or elementary. And then also Center for Foreign Languages also. And there are also students who are not that into teaching, so they opt with managerial jobs in a foreign or Korean company. So we have the Korean United Company Association, Center for Foreign Languages, ESL academies or school, because mostly sa Iloilo, our customers are either Korean or Japanese. Okay. So notable achievements are graduate just last year, Hans graduated summa cum laude, which is our very first BACPO's graduate, and also a most outstanding graduate. And then also yours truly, I won first place in the Korean speaking contest just last year, together with our second year during that time, Erin Shi, and then also Josanna and Alicia, who were third year during that time, participated also in the said contest. And then also, the thing that we're shocked is Rick John, who also joined actually the UPKRC Korea Essay Contest. So we were shocked when we saw his name, the group page. So he also won second runner-up in the said competition. Okay, so notable achievements also through international scholarships, which we are really proud of because two of our graduates, when they first tried applying for this scholarship, they got in. Okay, which is we're really lucky for this one. So one of our professors, actually Andromeda Sensei, she got from the ASJA Next scholarship. So this April, she'll be flying to Japan to major in his master's studies about language and culture studies. And currently, Sheila, which is also a graduate of the Pioneer Batch, is currently taking her master's degree in Korean language education at Hanyang University under the JKS scholarship. Okay, so lastly, my thoughts before I ended my discussion. So honestly, actually, as an alumna and a current Korean language teacher under the program, I can sympathize with both the feelings of my teachers and fellow juniors when it comes to some situations. Okay, so as a graduate student in the program, I know how hard it is to study a foreign language, especially in an environment where that language is not spoken. Okay, so here in the Philippines, we have English and Filipino, right? In our province, we also have dialects. Okay, so if you're coming from Manila, from Aklan, or from Mindanao, of course, when you go to Iloilo, you have to study also the dialects. Okay, so marami kang nilalearn na language. So Korean is rarely spoken or heard outside the classroom unless you watch, Korean dramas maybe or variety shows every day or listens to Korean songs all day. But as a student, we actually don't have that luxury to do so because we also have other responsibilities with other subjects and of course also at home. Okay, so that's why I actually understand the sentiments or feelings of my fellow Bacolod students or juniors. But as I become also a teacher and started teaching, I also began to understand the feelings or sentiments of my Korean professors, especially if we encounter students who are really not interested and are slow learners in learning a language, especially on my part, because the students I'm teaching are mostly taking Korean language just as a minor subject. So some of them are actually not interested in the language, but while some of them are very knowledgeable or very good in the said language. Okay, so it's actually a very hard part for the teacher. That's why I think teachers have to be really smart. When I mean smart, not the book smart, but very smart and creative and thinking different methods to effectively teach Korean to students because we all have different acquisition of language. So some are good in repetition, shadowing, some are also good when they study it together with their rules, but some just naturally acquire it as they hear it. So it's a very big job for the teachers or big responsibility, but also students have to do their part to study the language. So I know our program is still kind of new and there are still some improvements that should be made. So I'll gladly accept or appreciate and listen to your suggestions, comments, and questions regarding our program. So I'll be ending my presentation here.
Thank you for sharing with us your fun activities for your local program in Iloilo. So now for our third presenter, he will delve into the promotion of Korean language instruction in the Philippines through the King Sejong Institute Foundation and King Sejong Institute, Quezon City. So please join me in welcoming Mr. James Dominic Manrique of King Sejong Institute, Quezon City. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
안녕하세요. 네, so while we're setting up, 안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 캐서시티 세종학당 단기교원 제임스라고 합니다. 네, 저는 세종학당 대반 그리고 오리학당, 캐서시티 세종학당을 소개해드리도록 하겠습니다. So if you're expecting another lecture, just a general introduction of what we do in KSI as a local institute of KSI Foundation, right? So let me start with an introduction of What King Sejong Institute Foundation is. So KSIF works under the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, and their main goal is to manage overseas Korean language education and to promote Korean culture. So as you can see, dito pa lang sa ating first slide, very interesting to note that the Korean government really sees the importance of promoting their language and culture worldwide. So this, from our very first slide pala, we can already hope that the Philippine government can do the same with Filipino languages and cultures. Next to top. Next. And then, sasakibo nyo, the agenda, the main business of KSIF is first, of course, to designate, to create, and support the KSIs, the King Sejong Institutes worldwide. And they also develop and operate an online platform for their language education, which is the Nuri Sejong Institute. And then we also have, so they also create or produce their own standard language curricula and materials that they send out to all KSIs worldwide. And then they also train language teachers. So they dispatch Korean Wonomin, and then they send them to other countries to teach. And they also train local teachers like us Filipinos. They send them to Korea or they offer online courses to train us in Korean language education. Then of course, no, they all other than language courses, language classes, they also do or promote, create culture classes, culture curricula, and other projects and programs to promote and extend Korean language and culture worldwide. So later we'll see how they operationalize their agenda. So for KSI in the Philippines naman, there are, if I remember correctly, at most 250 KSIs worldwide and 86 or so countries. So among those 200 plus KSIs, we have 6 currently operating King Sejong Institutes in the Philippines. So first and foremost, we have our KCC in Taguig. We also have one in Cainta, Balanga in Bataan, San Juan in Batangas, Cebu, and of course one here in Quezon City. Right. So one thing that we are very proud of in KSIQC is that our personnel, our teaching staff in KSIQC is mostly composed of Filipinos, right? Unlike other KSIs actually also in other countries na more on Tagalog, so like dispatched Korean teachers yung meron at sila as teaching personnel, right? So a quick background on our hakbang, like Quezon City hakbang. So actually, yung kwento nito was we started, or I and my co-teacher Marco Angulo Sonsigny, we were invited by UST Angelicum College to do a short Korean language program to their senior high students for just 4 sessions, 4 Fridays. So parang an elective course or at least a series of lectures. So to just introduce Korean language to their students. And then we did that 2021 for twice. And then the UST Angelicum College administrators liked that initiative. And then they have a Korean university partner, which is the Seoul National University of Science and Technology, or Seoultech. They also, their Korean university partner, heard of their initiative to teach their SH, or at least introduce Korean language to their senior high students. So they said, what if let's continue this initiative as part of the King Sejong Institute? Why not? Let's apply to be a KSI in the Philippines, in Quezon City. So in 2022, we make that happen. So we opened in July of 2022. So that's how KSIQC became a thing, right? So didn't expect, but here we are. So we are now on our 2nd year of operation. Next. For KSI. Okay, so KSI courses, so KSI classes offer for their basic curriculum 3 classes. So we have Sejong Hanbok, Sejong Korean. We also have Sejong Practical Korean, or also known as conversation Sejong Korean Conversation. And then we also have Sejong Korean Culture. So these are their basic curriculum that most or all KSIs worldwide are expected to be able to offer. And then KSIs can have or can opt to create special courses, special classes such as Kicho Hangugo or Hangugo Inmun, Introductory Korean, K-Wave Korean. So for K-Wave Korean, their neyong is from K-drama and Korean content. Then Business Korean, Travel Korean. Then we also have Practical Korean for Tourism and Hospitality. Then Korean for marriage immigrants, and then advanced reading and advanced writing. So we, for in the Philippines, if I remember correctly, KCC is the one that offers a lot of special curriculum classes in their repertoire, right? So hopefully, KSIQC, since we are on our second year of operation, we can also offer those special curriculum, right? So some enrollment statistics. So we started 하반기 of 2022년. So we started with offering 1A classes. So the first level, we had around 60 students. So we did this online. And then so that's for our trial run. So thankfully, our contract, we got approved. No, the KSIF really saw that our operations were really good. So they were impressed. They extended our contract to 3 years. So starting our first real execution on 2023 for our first cycle, we offered 1A, 1B, and 2A classes. So we had up to 180, 190 students already. Right. And then 2023B for Habangi 2023, we extended up to 2B. 2B. And then this time, this was also the time when we welcomed our Pagyan Gyoan or our dispatch teacher, Solbi Singing, in our teaching and teaching staff. So we were able to offer higher level classes. And then for this cycle, 2024A, we have offered up to 3A. We tried to offer up until 3B, but sadly, the schedule was not that good. So many students were not able to reach the enrollment quota for that class. So only offered until 3A, but instead we offered our Deha class, so our conversation class to A level, which had a good turnout. So we are with 5 teachers in our teaching staff. We can accommodate up to 250 students total in our classes. Right. For KFIQC, so as you saw, we focus currently in Sejong Google. If you have seen or if you have browsed the Nuri Sejong website, you will see that the textbooks are also available online. So you can look this up. So here is the 2022 version, the new book of King Sejong Institute. So I'll pass the Gibon Kyoje. So this is the student's book. I'll pass this around so you can see. In addition to the Gibon Kyoje, they also have a Kim text, so the workbook, Dohagi Haldong, which is new for this version. So if you need extra activities in your classes, you can use this Dohagi Haldong text. And lastly, meron ding accompanying Pyuhangwa Munbok text that summarizes the grammar patterns and vocabulary for each chapter. So as you can see, very helpful, all the materials that have been published by the KSIF. So the curriculum is standardized. If you look at the KSI Sejong Hangugo Jidoso, the teacher's guide. So the Gibon Kyoje, each chapter contains Doib, then you have your Ohiya Pyuhan, then each chapter has two Unbok, and then you have also 2 sets of Haldong. So Haldong Il is typically Dilko Maraki, and Haldong I is typically a Dilko Siki. So as you can see, in our Sejong Hangugo classes, we really focus or really try our best to focus on all 4 language skills, like Dilki, Maragi, Ilki, Siki, because that's what typically Korean classes or language classes in general fail to provide a holistic training for all core language skills. And then for Dohagi Haekdong, this is the content. So we have an additional Ohi Pyuhan exercise, an additional Moonpop exercise, and additional exercises for Elisa Futong. Right. So each KSI can opt to manage or decide on how they present or how they build or how they teach each module or each book of the Sejong Hangugo series. So at the very least, you can have 45 total hours of instruction, up to 90 hours of instruction per cycle. So for KSIQC, we opt to have 60 hours of instruction for one cycle. So we finish one book for 60 hours. So our classes meet once every Fridays or Saturdays for 4 hours for 15 weeks. So maybe you're thinking 4 hours ng isang bagsakan all at once is quite difficult. But remember that KSI caters to all kinds of students, students or working people or parents. So at least in KSIQC, we really target that our class schedule can accommodate a lot of people, at least in Quezon City. So our classes are only held on Fridays or Saturdays. So we meet once a week for 4 hours for 15 sessions. So as you can see here in the second table, KSIF also provides a sample syllabi on how you would pace the book all throughout the semester. So you can start with an orientation and then you can do Yukwa until Yukwa. And then in the middle, in KSIQC, we do Boksip and then Munha Hardong all at the same time. And then the latter half of the book, which is Chika until Shpika. And then before the Surya Pyangka, KSIQC for this cycle started also doing another Boksip session and Munha Hardong session before the Surya Pyangka. Yeah, so since we do 4 hours per week of instruction, so this is also in the GTO's Hall and the teacher's guide provided by KSIF. They also provide a suggestion on how you can pace the content of each chapter up to the minutes. So they also suggest this one, so it's very helpful for us teachers for us to be able to at least standardize the way we teach Korean language in our classes. So for our case, we do 4 hours, so that's 240 minutes per session. So for most of us, we follow this kind of teaching. So we incorporate both the Gibon Kyotse and the Dohaki Hardong in our and our classes. If there's time, we can also include the Ikimtek, Yongsip Hardong, but mostly Ikimtek, the workbook is supposedly for the students to practice in their own time at home. Then of course, since our curriculum, our classes actually, KSIF actually, other than the textbooks, they also provide teachers PowerPoints already for each lesson. So the teachers can use the PowerPoints already provided by KSIF, right? So they can opt to use that. So it really eases up the workload for us Korean language teachers. Right. So going back, so since the classes, the curriculum, the syllabi are standardized, at the end of the semester, the Surya Pyangka is also standardized. So the KSIF provides us the exam sheets together with the rubrics for grading and the answer keys. So as you can see, our exams for our Sejong Korean classes has 4 sections: Titki, Ilki, Sigi, and Maragi. So yes, since we all teach all 4 language skills in class, of course, it follows that we will test all those language skills as well. So even in Sejong Hangugo 1A, right? Even in the very basic, the first level of Sejong Korean, we also test Sigi and Maragi, right? So you would think for the first level of Korean language, so parang we only focus on Ditki, Ilki. At least for topic, that's the logic. But as early as IL-A, we also test for Sigi and Maragi, right? So these are some pictures of our class. So we utilize the PowerPoints and the boards for our instruction. So each class typically has 15 students, give or take 15 students per class. So it's really, our class sizes are very manageable, and you can assure that each student will be given ample attention for them to learn from the teacher. And so of course, other than our classes, we are also proud that we also teach our students, right, about culture. So we also do various culture events. So we try to do culture events at least once a month or once every 2 months. So if there's a special day in Korea celebrated like Hangul or Orinal, we do celebrate those. So these are pictures for Hangul. We created bookmarks. For Orinal, we invited children or school children to play taksi, gonghinuri, and so on, other Korean traditional games. And then if there's no special holidays for that, we also do other Korean culture stuff. Like we had our cooking class or just a cooking session. So we cooked tteokbokki with it in tteokbok or no, omotang. And then we also do say for example hanbok wearing, or actually last night we had our late celebration of Seollal. So we created our lanterns and we ate yakwa. 네. 그다음 other than language and culture, KSIF also holds their equivalent of TOPIK. So we have our Sejong Korean Assessment, or SKA, right? So for last year, 2023, KSIQC is proud in its first year of operation to hold the first SKA held in the Philippines. So SKA is kind of like TOPIK, PBT, and IBT. So our Ditki, Sigi, Ditki, Sigi, and Ilki exams are paper-based, but we also did our Maragi, Siham, computer-based. So we had our adjudicators live from Korea adjudicate the test takers live through Zoom. So we did that last year, and we also hold it for this year, so twice, hopefully, if we can do that. So yes, in lieu of your TOPIK certificate, you can opt to take SKA instead. And then lastly, for our programs, we also hold competitions. So we typically do this coinciding with our Suryoshik. So we did last time spelling contest. And of course, for KSI, Pilsu Maragide. So we are very proud that for our first installment of Maragidehe in KSIQC, we were able to send our first place winner, Robilin Shi, to South Korea together with Ayuso and Nim, right? So they went last year, so these are their pictures. So it is very heartwarming that for our first year of as KSIQC, we were able to do these achievements. And then lastly, for KSIF initiatives naman for us teachers. So students, first our students, they give opportunities for the students to go to South Korea for immersion training, language training. Actually, undergraduate scholarships also are provided by KSIF to KSI graduates. But of course, to us teachers, they also provide many opportunities for us to improve our craft. So me personally, together with Aya, we flew to South Korea together with the other KSIs in the Philippines to train to participate in the World Korean Educator Conference, where we were able to be trained by esteemed professionals in the Korean language education field and share among each other our best practices in our classrooms. And then Marcos Sonsenim and Yan Sonsenim, last year as well, they were able to go to the ASEAN Sejong Hakdang workshop. So teachers and Unyang Yawon, our operations personnel, are given workshops by KSIF. So these opportunities are fully funded by KSIS, as well as language education training, both online and offline. So we every year at least we receive twice to two or more times invitations for us to enroll in a Korean cyber university for us to get certified as a Korean language teacher. So there's a lot of opportunities if you work under KSI Foundation. So to end my presentation, I would like you guys to visit our Facebook page at KSI.QC Kim Sejong Institute, Quezon City. So you're up to date with what we do in our classes as well. Right? So if you have questions, we will be entertaining them in the Q&A afterwards. 네, 여기까지 하겠습니다. 네, 들어주셔서 감사합니다.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mandiler, for sharing with us the design of your Korean language program in Kim Sejong Institute. So finally, our last presentation will highlight the transition of our presenter from being a Korean interpreter and will elaborate on the demand of Korean language proficiency in various industries. So please join me in welcoming our Korean end jobber, Mr. Jacob Noel Fentebel.
Hey, we're first gonna work on the presentation. All right, there it is. All right, so 안녕하세요. Are we still all right, everyone? 인사드려요? Still alive? I'm the last one, so don't worry, we're gonna end soon. All right, so wait, I should sit down, right? 앉아서 하겠습니다. All right. So, yeah, okay. So my name is Jacob Fuentebella, and today I want to talk to you guys about how I became a Korean entomologist. So I know this word might be new to some of you, and some of you might already know this, but I'll go into more of that later. But for now, I just want to mention a disclaimer, because when I first got the offer to do this talk, I honestly was very surprised and confused, because I was not exactly a Korean language educator. So I was not sure why I was being invited to this kind of conference. But after giving it some thought, of course, I realized maybe I could contribute something finally to this talk. So hopefully you guys would gain something from what I will be talking about today. All right? So before we actually get into my journey to becoming a Korean endumno, I want to give you guys first a background of who I am, just so you guys know why you should be listening to my talk, right? All right. So who am I? I am handsome, just kidding. I am a graduate of BS Civil Engineering here at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. I graduated in 2020 with the distinction of cum laude. I am also currently working as a Korean account specialist at the company called Merck Business Solutions Asia Incorporated. I am also working as a part-time Korean translator / interpreter, and I'm doing that freelance. And I'm kind of an influencer wannabe. I have a YouTube and TikTok on the side. I am putting the link here, description box in front of me. If you guys are interested, please do subscribe. Yeah. All right. So let's jump right into being an 엔점너. So 혹시 여기 엔점너란 단어의 뜻을 아시는 분 혹시 계실까요? 단어의 뜻을 몇 명, 한 분 계시네요. So I don't have time to ask you. I'm so sorry. I'm just curious, like how many know this term? So let's get right into the definition I found on the internet. So this is all in Korean. I'll break it down to you in a while. So I'll read it for you. 엔점너, or in English we'd say 엔jobber. 엔점너란 본업 이외의 여러 개의 직업을 병행하는 개인을 지칭하는 신조어입니다. Alright, I highlighted the most important part for you here in bold. 본업 이외의 여러 개의 직업을 병행하는 개인. So to break it down simply for you, 본업 이외. 본업 is your main job. 이외 is apart from. So apart from your main job, 여러 개의 직업을 병행하다. 여러 개의 직업. 여러 개 is a multitude of, multiple. 직업 is job. So multiple jobs. 병행하다 is to do something at the same time. Therefore, putting it all together, do the math. 본업 이외 여러 개의 직업 병행하다 is to describe someone doing multiple other jobs apart from their main job. And this is a 신조어. It's a colloquial term just made by Koreans recently. And this is usually brought about by need for finance or like just wanting to gain more experience outside your main job. So yes, you might be thinking, am I really an end job now? Am I really working multiple jobs? And the answer is, I was. I used to work multiple jobs at the same time along with my main job. And today I want to show you guys how I became that Korean end job now. All right. So, just like a lot of people, I was not exactly aware of the job opportunities available to Korean bilinguals. As a graduate of civil engineering, of course, the obvious career path for me was to pursue a career as a civil engineer, get my license, work in construction and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we had the pandemic, and when I graduated, I was not able to get a job, mainly because of the suspension of the National Civil Engineering License Board exams. And for our career, for our field, it's not exactly easy to get a job without a license because like the market is very competitive. We have no license, and there's a pandemic. So I tried to look for jobs when I graduated immediately. So I was like going on Job Street, applying for this and that. And I was not being recognized by any of the applications. I just kept getting rejected. And I was thinking, okay, what am I supposed to do? I have no job. It's pandemic, and how am I supposed to make money, right? So that was until one day I got this message. And I'm thinking some of you might have been contacted by this account already at some point in your life. Because this account basically contacts everyone they think would speak Korean. And here, I first found out that they are looking for Korean speakers, and they asked me, are you open for a job? And I just want to say, guys, I don't have anything Korean in my account, so I found this message a bit suspicious. I did not know how they found out about me, or that how they found out I spoke Korean. But anyway, I needed a job, so I entertained their message. Like, what could go wrong? It's just some Facebook account. You'll never know if you get something from it. So I talked to them, and then they asked me to take this Korean assessment exam on the internet, and so I did. And as you can see on the left side of right? On the right side of the screen, I got an astounding score of 69 out of 70. And I was very proud of myself. I was so amazed, like, oh my God, guys, I'm so great. I could get any job. And even the HR, like KR Kylie was like, oh, you are great. I think all our clients will like you. And I did believe that because like I was getting ready, like when I saw like the job offers they were matching with me, they told me like, okay, your score is this. So we think you fit these 3 jobs. So try applying for it. And those jobs include HR, which the salary range started around 70,000 for starting. Then we had a customer service position, which started at around 40,000. And we also had research position, which started around 50,000. And I'm mentioning guys' salary because like I was very surprised to see that these were the starting rates they were offering me. Because like if you go through civil engineering, like the job offerings in civil engineering, the starting pay for a licensed civil engineer was 15 to 20,000, basically minimum. So seeing that the offer for the Korean bilingual is like double the offer for civil engineers, I was very hyped, and I was getting to move out of my house until I found out I failed all the 3 applications they offered me. And yeah, so it was very disheartening, disappointing. Even though this was not exactly the path I figured for myself, it was just suddenly a path that appeared to me. It was still very disappointing to find out that nobody liked my resume. So, but of course, there are a lot of reasons behind this. Of course, that time my degree was not aligned with the job, and of course, I have no work experience prior. And that time, I did not have a TOEFL score. So of course, they wouldn't consider me as someone. I had nothing to prove exactly that I spoke Korean apart from some few awards in some Korean speech contests. That was it. And so they did not acknowledge that, and I failed all. But one important thing I got from this experience was the fact that there are job opportunities for Korean bilinguals. I did not know this before, and just because of that, those 3 failures, I found out that there are opportunities waiting for Korean bilinguals. And so I went back to Job Street, looked back at my civil engineering applications, and this time I applied for anything that had Korean in it. All right, so from there, I applied to basically over 100 jobs, I would say, because like 50 for civil engineering maybe, and 50 like for Korean. And I was doing like 10 applications per day for over 2 to 3 weeks. I just kept getting calls every now and then, like they would ask basic information, and I would of course tell them stuff. And they would all not call me back. So basically I was getting rejected again and again and again. And I was just so used to being rejected that I was like, maybe the Korean job market is not for me, but of course, I was also not getting success in civil engineering, so no success anywhere. So let's just keep going. Until one day, I just kept going and I got the call. All right, so this one, I was just sitting in my room, of course, waiting for my next rejection until I got this call. And suddenly, of course, I was expecting some Filipino and I answered, hello. And then suddenly, on the phone, the guy was like, 여보세요? 여기 제이콥님 맞으시죠? And I was like, why are you speaking in Korean? I was so surprised. So, of course, trying to, get myself together in that short time, I wanted to get a job, right? So I was like, okay, Korean. 네, 맞는데요? It was like, so from there, we just spoke the entire call in Korean. And they asked me basically to go have a face-to-face interview. And we did. So during the interview, they were basically telling me that they were a startup company from Korea and they were doing interior design. So they found that my background in civil engineering and my civil engineering and my level of Korean was sufficient to help them go by their day-to-day operations. And so there I got finally my first job. And this job is actually called a Korean bilingual specialist. So it's very fancy, not sure why they use it, but yeah, Korean bilingual specialist. So I really want to go to details of the job I actually do, but I don't have much time for that. So let's give you guys a run through of the industry I work in. So my first job is actually, again, construction design industry, interior design. And these pictures on screen are actual projects we made. So this is actually our office. So we started out with no office at all, and my bosses were like, let's make an office. And so we did. We made this office, so we used it for the entire duration of my stay in the company. And then we also had other projects like creating a house in Ayala, Alabang. These were designed by my bosses. And one of the most exciting things about this job I had was the fact that, of course, I was able to use both civil engineering and my Korean. But of course, we also, since it was a startup company, so I was exposed to like a lot of different activities. Like in big companies, everything is departmentalized, right? So we had work for this, and that. But since our company had like 5 people, I basically had a chance to do everything that my boss asked me to do. And one of the most exciting things I got to do, I'm not sure if you guys know this, this is Fratello. This is basically a house selling, YouTube channel. They do house tours. And our house was featured, our project, was featured in this channel. And one of the most exciting things about doing this was that we were part of the creative process of like, they asked us how to direct the video and we were really collaborating and it was really fun. Like even into a job that I would expect only to do like, translating and translating and engineering stuff, I was even able to do a lot of other things I did not expect I would be able to do. All right, so this is basically a run through of my first job. This is the first thing I've been doing. And you might be asking me, this is your first job. So how do you get to becoming an end jobber? But how do you become an end jobber from this? So after working about 2 years in this company, I resigned due to personal reasons. And from there, I uploaded the fact that I work as a Korean bilingual specialist on LinkedIn. And from then, people have been contacting me suddenly for asking to do interpretation jobs. And so the first side job I was able to do, note though I was resigned during this time, I was doing just this side job by itself, was again in engineering. I was asked to do live translation in an engineering consultancy industry. I can't see the subtitle down here, but anyway, this was a big event. Basically, from the government of Korea, they had some presenters present how they do wastewater management, and yeah, I got to do live interpretation for that. And the next side job I was able to have, or accept at least, was a project by Hyundai and Petra. And basically, I can't see it. It's a power plant testing, basically. Basically, they were just trying to figure out if the equipment from Hyundai was enough to meet Petron standards, something like that. So it was like 5 days. They booked me a hotel for 5 days, gave me food for 5 days. It was fun, and it earned a lot of money. The most important part. Yeah. So up until now, you would see all my experiences with Korean are all related to engineering. Oh, wait. No. Hi. Okay, we're back. Okay. All of them were related to engineering because, like, of course, I am in engineering. I was thinking, can I get out of this? Is there a way for me to just jump into a new field? And thankfully, I was thinking that way until I met, of course, my second job, my second owner. So this second job was actually not offered to me. It was offered to a friend. who happened to be satisfied with her job at the time. She was like, hey, I got this offer. Do you want to give it a try? And I was like, sure, I needed a job. And so I did. But then when I looked at the description of the company I was applying for in the job description, it was apparently in the industry of finance. And I had no finance background whatsoever. And it was a company called Merck. And yeah, I was not sure how to get into this, but I was like, it's something you could try. I've been rejected many times before. I could get another one. It's fine. No harm, right? And so I did. I applied for it, and I got it. I got an interview with them, and the entire interview was in Korean. And then during the interview, they were all emphasizing the fact that, okay, you have no finance background. How do you plan to get in this job? And during the interview, I was just banking on the fact that I am a fast learner, I am a positive thinker, I am a team player, I will do whatever you want me to do. So I tried to upskill everything I could, of course, all in Korean. And thankfully, oh wait, no, before that, you might be asking, okay, why am I trying to push myself into this job anyway, right? It's because, of course, of the salary. Just to give you a context about it, I love money, guys. I'm so sorry. Just to give you context, this job was offering twice the salary I got my first job. So I'll leave the numbers to you. You imagine what that number is, but basically it's a very high number. So I was so excited, and thankfully I got the job. And they were telling me, after I got the job, they were telling me about the fact that they have had a lot of Filipinos apply for the job. And those Filipinos had finance background, finance experience, and they asked them, of course, why did you choose me though? So they were like, oh, it's mainly because your Korean level was the highest among everyone. And even though you had no Korean skill, we thought that just with your Korean level, you could be able to do the job well. And just like that, I was historically the company's first non-native Korean employee under the Korean accounts team. And yeah, everyone in my team was a Korean. There are like 6 of us, and everyone I am working with right now is a Korean. So basically, essentially, just because of my Korean proficiency, even though I lacked background in the field, they were able to take me in just because of that level. Yeah, so up until now, again, I have only been working jobs one at a time. And you might still be asking me, okay, where is the end jobber part? Where do you get to do multiple jobs at the same time? And we're gonna get there. So yeah, end jobber. Here we go. So just a disclaimer, I'm just gonna list down everything I was able to do on the side. Because I did not do all of these. Some of these were offers to me that they didn't have time to do and stuff like that. But I'm showing these to you guys just so you guys know what other industries you are able to explore in case you decide to do, side jobbing, become an end jobber yourself. So, of course, I did more freelance interpreting jobs along with my main job. That included power plant inspections, wedding ceremonies, court hearings, discussions with the World Bank and Korean government, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, guys, I have not yet had a chance to do K-pop concerts. And I really do want to do it, but I haven't found a way to get into their, industry. But maybe someday, if you guys have any connections, please do let me know. So that's one. Other things I've been doing on the side that will also earn me money are translating jobs. We've had some thesis translation, news translation, subtitle translation. I've also had the opportunity to do English Filipino teaching to Koreans. This is funny, but essentially those Koreans wanted to learn English Filipino, and they said they'd give me money, and they had no English background whatsoever. So they were like, "We need you to do this for us." So I did, and they gave me a good amount of cash. So it was all good. And last one is a bit questionable. Again, this is something that could earn money if done right. YouTube and TikTok. I did not work with that properly. I am not doing that well. But if you guys are interested, you can actually earn money by just showing the world that you are good at speaking Korean and show them, oh, annyeonghaseyo, and like, oh my God, your Korean is so great. Comments everywhere. So if you guys do this well, you can get enough views, subscribers, and you can make a lot of money from that as well. So essentially, these are all the jobs I have worked in throughout my career, like studying. I started studying Korean in 2018, so about 5 to 6 years of studying and working, and those are all the jobs I have worked so far. And I guess the main point I want to impart to every one of you today, and I know you guys are mostly teachers, teaching Korean, and I'm not sure how this would be helpful to you, but maybe you would be interested in applying for side jobs, or like maybe you want to motivate your students, like, hey, Korean can earn you a lot of cash. it's something that could like motivate your students as well. And I just want to emphasize that just with the language of the proficiency in the Korean language, you're opening your doors to a lot of opportunities, and that not just in your own industry, even to a lot of other industries that you did not even expect would exist. So again, those are everything I have done, and I have become a Korean entrepreneur, and hopefully you guys were able to learn something from all my rambling today. So yeah, I'll try to end the presentation here. And 끝까지 들어주셔서 감사드리고요. 이상 마치겠습니다
감사합니다.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pantavelia. Thank you for giving us the essence of A&M Java. Okay, so now may we call on our presenter, Professor Javier. He's sitting for the floor. Okay, so we are now at the open forum of our program. So if you have some inquiries or clarification or if you want to share your thoughts about our discussion for today, this is now the time to do it. So, and for those who are in our Zoom link, you may type in your questions or your comments for our presenter for today. So who would like to begin our open forum? Sino po yung may tanong? The teachers, I think, may isang tanong lang. Okay, this is from Miss Joyce. Does BACO have an employment program or OJT?
There is, can you share the program? Actually, since our program, hello. So actually, since our program is kind of new, we don't have at the moment an employment program or OJT. That's why we're only focusing more on the language program because we want our students to be very proficient and also have that proficiency in Korean language. So sadly, as of now, maybe in the future, when our program is really stable, we can have that employment program or OJT. But as of now, we're still having the language immersion.
My question is like, so if we do not have that immersion, like it said, do we like have do we also require a research curriculum or like a unit of research requirement for our
Yes, actually, as a college university or as a state university, we are required to have our research paper or thesis paper before we graduate. So we take that during third year and also fourth year together with the language immersion.
Another question? The teachers who have been, yes, ma'am. This company is forming a year in the I know that your program takes more than years. Do you have one courses in let's say 1 year for one language, let's say
Okay, for the Korean language, right, instead of, enrolling for our 4-year degree course program, right? Okay, for our university, actually, we have our Center for Foreign Languages, which is also I'm affiliated with. So we are offering Korean languages courses there. So 24 hours to 40 hours of Korean classes. We offer 1A, 1B, similar style with the King Sejong, actually. And actually, just a trivial, so we also applied with the King Sejong Institute to have a partnership in our university. So I'm hoping that we'll receive a good result this April.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry, we have a couple of questions. The first one would have to be with Professor Reyes. Yeah, sorry. So this is going to be a bit more technical on the teaching part, right? And the language and stuff like that. So how do we normally deal with the pedagogical barriers? So understandably, since we are situated in Iloilo, where there are a lot of more men and around the Visayas, they normally we encounter the difference between P and A sounds. So how do we normally approach this? Because technically, even if even though I'm already here in Manila, and you have a lot of students in the college university, it's also encountering the same barriers. So I wonder how you normally approach these classes.
Actually, you're talking about the Korean language programs, right? Actually, for this one, I'm actually not the one teaching because I don't handle backfall major classes, to be honest. But for our Korean professors, actually, usually they did it with, also doing translations with English and also Korean. Okay, so mostly when they're first year, they are introduced. Half of the first semester is focused mostly on learning Hangul or pronunciation. Yes, they're adjusting actually. That's why our teachers, Korean professors during first year and second year should use English most of the time when they're teaching Korean language. But when they enter third year and fourth year, English is actually, yes, full Korean so that the students or our students can acquire or familiarize yourself with the Korean language. Especially there are some, intonation, pacing, so Koreans talk really fast actually, that sometimes it's really hard to understand. That's why we want our students to acquire that kind of skills.
So there's something I understand you already speak trade training through Big Central Institute. I wonder if there are going to be opportunities for other Korean or KFL educators or enthusiasts also. If there's going to be a possibility where King Central Institute will also certify or train KFL teachers as well in order to like apply whatever style or whatever curriculum you have. Because for me, in my case, for example, I purchased certain books myself out of my own pocket and tried to come up with a material from there and adapt that. But you mentioned that in your class instruction, you have all of these activities prepared for you. So I wonder if that's possible for some of us, for most of us, to be certified and also have access to these materials and then have us be able to use that in our respective positions.
And I'm not sure as to if it is legal to use Sejong Korean materials for non-KSI use in teaching. But if you're interested, the Chidos on the teaching guide is also available online in their website, Sejong. It's also available online just like the other textbooks. But you have to be registered as a teacher. So you have to register as a teacher on that website to be able to access teaching materials that are copyrighted by KSI. So if you're talking about the materials, then the Chief also has everything actually. But for example, the conference that I attended together with the other KSI something, we were also oriented. We had a module on how to use our materials more effectively, and we also had sharing sessions, as I mentioned a while ago. If you're pertaining to other training opportunities outside that does not revolve around the Sejong Korean materials, as far as I know, unfortunately, most training opportunities, at least those that will give you certifications or licenses, are limited to KSI personnel. But there are also open courses online in the same website, Muli Seto. If you I'm not sure if you have to register as a teacher if it's open on to all, but there are language education courses or at least webinars or online format classes that you can preview. So you can do that on your own time so you can improve your teaching repertoire as well.
I get you also agree teaching and PSI. So the question is for so for UP, actually we create our materials and we teach, and for international institute we use the standardized one. So may I just ask what materials do West and Central University use, especially because you have a curriculum that most of them are advanced. So that's one. And how do you choose the materials? Probably you mentioned that you have middle class, it's not just the Korean genres. So is it like the same material? Of course, you have to base your lesson then when you have your material, when you have your Korean transfer. How do you update it?
Okay, so about the both materials, actually, we're using the books donated from Pisa National University. Actually, the donated books they give us is from level 1 until level 6. So it's from the beginner until the advanced lesson. So for other special topics, the mga subjects, usually our own teacher created their own materials. Because as of now, since we're still kind of new, we don't have a lot of collaboration or partnerships with other, schools or organizations. That's why there's a limited access with our some books. That's why double work for us because we have to make our own materials for that. But maybe later on, if you have the time and then the people who can work with us, we can make our own books for this one.
So I think, Arisa Songsilin, there's a question for you. So since you are from Iloilo and are also teaching Korean language to students, SPFL, is there any way that we could work with you?
Yes.
With West Visayas State University as a form of partnership?
Actually, for this one, I'm not sure if Mr. or Miss Benafiel is from the Iloilo National School. Actually, when we heard that the high school was offered SPFL, we actually sent an email to them, but sadly we were not able to receive any replies. So I think yes, it's possible to have the partnership and collaboration with this one. We can have the meetings, brainstorm on how we can, teach you or have seminar maybe to teach Korean as a foreign language.
And then I think this is a general question. As an inspiring Korean curriculum implementer in the province, what could be the possible training, workshop, or seminar that we can attend in order to enhance our communication and teaching skills in teaching Korean?
So I guess I can answer that, but not as my capacity as a KSI QC instructor, but someone who also received these kinds of Korean language education training myself before. So me personally, together with some of the something that are here in attendance today, we received Korean language education training and extensive training from the UP Department of Linguistics, headed by the Korean cluster. So in partnership with the UP Korea Research Center. So this was back in 2021 to 2022. So this language education training was in partnership with Seoul Assist University as well in Seoul. So we did trainings here, both here in the Philippines and in Korea. So I think the UP Korea Research Center or with partnership with the UP Department of Linguistics has plans to do another round of training, Korean language education training for current and prospective Korean language teachers as well.
Professor.
Well, my take on this is before you can even, even before you can even attend trainings or seminars on teaching Korean, I think you should improve or enhance your Korean language skills first. Because we are all teachers, we know the pedagogy, we have the pedagogical skills. So it's easier for us, to come up with activities, learning activities, activities wherein we can ask our students for their creative outputs or performances. But if we do not have the skills, ourselves, and we're not confident of the skills that we have, then we can never be a better teacher. You have to have that proficiency. You have to have that language skill to share to your students. That's my take on this.
Do you have any more questions, teachers? Yes, sir.
I'm Prince from and our course we are Korean teachers. Since you are a graduate of student I'm curious with your personal background with Korean.
Like basically how I started studying. Is that what you want to ask? I mostly self-studied Korean when I started. I studied by myself for about 2 years, and then suddenly I felt like I needed to expose myself to more people because I was just talking to myself basically in my room with my Korean dramas and my TV shows. I was like, I need to meet Koreans in real life. So I went to enroll in Benson Tingim's class, and from there she recommended me to different activities that really, deepened my connection, I guess, with Korean, my love for Korean as a language. And from there, I just kept studying again by myself. Because after that meeting with something, I was like, the pandemic started, so I went back to self-studying. And yeah, basically everything I did was study by myself using online materials and everything I could find on the internet. Yeah, I hope that was useful. Or if you have any additional things you want to add. Yeah. Oh, sure.
So, the very first step, not the very first step, but the step that students find funny when I tell them every time. Because the thing is, when I ask them to do Marathi activities, so they do pair work or group work, and then they talk to each other in Korean. One thing that I always notice is they start writing on their notebooks. So I always shout, 잠시만요. 네. 쓰면 안 돼요. 대본 정하면 안 돼요. So please do not write down your script. Please do not write down what you will say because when you go to South Korea or when you talk to someone who speaks in Korean, you don't 잠시만요. Then read it out loud, right? So many students, especially in the beginner level, always do that. So as early as possible, please catch them and correct those practices because once those fossilize, it's very difficult to correct them in the upper level.
Okay, so for me naman, based on my experience, especially when I'm beginning to study Korean language, actually it depends on each student. They have their own way or methods on how they acquire the language. For me, on my part, I watch a lot of variety shows. And when I say variety shows, these are shows or Korean variety shows that are not that very advanced. So for example, we have The Return of Superman. I've binge watched that during when I was first year student, and it's very helpful because the sentences there, the words used are not that very advanced. It's very beginner level because it's about babies, children. So it's very easy to acquire. And then of course for the pronunciation and how you also arrange the words in sentences. So for me, it depends on the student's interest. So if they're more interested in watching Korean dramas, then include Korean dramas clips in your lessons. If they're into the K-pop music, then include lyrics translated in Korean and English to your lesson. So it actually depends also on the student.
my advice would be watch K-dramas. Just like I do. You know, because we have this thing, Korean, Filipino Korean pronunciation, if you've noticed that. Every time you teach your student, 안녕하세요, they will do like, 안녕하세요, or something like that. No? So it's very important that they get the right tone, the right pronunciation, the right intonation whenever they speak Korean. And also because there's a practical application of what you teach, you know. And as a teacher, you know, we are all performers. So when we go in front of the class, you know, it's like a stage, you know, and you become a K-drama actress as well, right? Oh, 오빠, 왜 그래? 거기 가서 그렇잖아, right? So, you know, you can teach the right intonation, pronunciation, you can mind it. We're very, you know, the Filipinos are very creative, very flexible, you know, and yes, we can mind it and we can like, you know, model, you know, model. As models, you know, we also ourselves learn from what we watch, you know. You're very lucky you have YouTube now, you have what Netflix. Back in my day, we don't have textbooks. Diba? So, yeah. Well, as you will notice, no, mukha akong puma ng mga idol dito. Diba? So, my point is, you know, you never stop learning, no? And one way of enhancing skills as a teacher and as a teacher of Korean is to watch K-dramas. Hindi pa ako pang K-pop, ito bang edad ng itong parang pang K-pop, hindi lang siguro. You know? Okay, thank you.
I think this question is for Sir Jacob. So to Sir Jacob, this is from Miss Joyce. So Sir Jacob, can we invite you as our speaker to inspire our SPFL Korean students? If not face to face, at least virtually.
Sure. Well, contact me anytime. Thank you.
I know, una na po sila. And then for yeah, is SKI and topic IBT, I think this is for Professor Javier. Is SKI and topic IBT level of proficiency similar? For example, someone get level 2 in SKI exam. Does it mean that she is also in level 2 in topic IBT?
Okay, I don't know much about SKI. Like I said, you have to understand that the Pink Sejong Institutional Foundation is under the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. And the topic IET is administered by NIIED, which is under the Ministry of Education. So those are totally different government agencies. But the one that is accepted in universities are the results of the whether it's topic PBT, topic CBT, or topic IBT. As to the level, I cannot really say, like I said, I'm not very familiar with SKA, but I think they're getting there. SKA would seem to be like you said, similar to topic IBT, I'm not sure, but then again, different ministries are administering the exams.
Right. So to give more background on SKA, this is a relatively new Korean language proficiency exam. So this was piloted, if I remember correctly, back starting 2021. So it's very new compared to the TOEIC. And as Professor Javier mentioned, the TOEIC is one that is recognized widely all over the world. So the King Sejong Institute Foundation is pushing, now that we have finished our pilot testing in, on our fifth or sixth time holding SKA worldwide, we are pushing recognition for SKA results. So think of that as both TOEFL and IELTS as recognized both for English. So that's the goal for Sejong Korean language.
Okay, main question po po.
Follow-up.
A follow-up question.
Yeah. So, at least from a teacher's perspective, I've heard in having to find a test. Which test? I would say SKA because I'm consistently taking the topic year in, year out until I pass it. Perhaps continuously able to forget that because like what you mentioned, Professor, it's very important that if you are an educator, you have to manifest the same thing, you have the efficacy, the same skill, and you are students. So, with that said, I wonder if this is something that we have to be open to the public, the same way that we open central courses into the public.
Yes, even our SKA held last year, this was open to all and not only to KSI graduates. So it just so happened that since KSI UC was new, so our reach wasn't that good. But so since I plug it to you guys, hopefully you can share those your students as well. Hopefully we can get better reach this time and cater to more test takers. So more background I guess for SKA. The questions are kind of similar to topic actually. The levels are mostly similar, if not equivalent to topic and CFR for SKA. But the major difference from topic is that for SKA, all four the Marathi, including Marathi, that's the biggest difference. Included in the exam itself, yung Marathi portion. Unlike topic, that separates topic from topic speaking, right? So I guess that's one thing that you have to consider if you plan to take SKA or if you plan to plug SKA to your students.
So one more question, give attorney. Okay, sir.
I think for Professor Javier, Mama, I understand you have a lot of campuses all over the country.
Yes.
Are you looking into exporting the
Oh, yes, we are.
IB to these campuses?
Yes, we are, like I said, we have a plan to open a center at Ateneo de Davao. So that's our next goal. Because we found out that some of the examinees had to come as far as Davao and then had to take the plane going to Ateneo, and one of them even came a little bit late. But, nakakaawa naman. So, yeah, we accepted her. So, ganyan. So, that's really the goal, to make the test accessible to our fellow, to our countrymen in other parts of the country, in the provinces especially.
So I think we have one last question in our Zoom chat room. So thank you so much, ma'am and sir. Are there intensive online classes offered by UP for us teachers from the province? I think Dr. Ben, you can answer this question, I think. Because I think this is for UPKRC. So the question, Dr. Ben, is there any intensive online classes offered by UP for teachers from the provinces? Yes. It's yeah, for SPF, for
just UP, but if you check out some institutions really offer not really intensive but extramural class kind certificate course. So if you are targeting vocational domains, you can target HESTA or other EPS centers. But in terms of UP, we offer every Saturday extramural classes for the public and non-UP students. But at the same time, what we offer is for the general public. So we don't really specify the objectives of students, but if we have a good number of students, good number of clients, we can offer the special class. For instance, sometimes we are commissioned by the Korean embassy for the Korean government officers. So in that case, for 10 weeks, we offer some special courses. So in the class, at least we need 15 students minimum. So if you have 15 students, and then let's say you are all a group of SPFL teachers, and then you already finished your training at KCC, but you need to recap and you need to refresh to teach, let's say, grade 9. then we can design something for you, especially. So it depends on approaching some institutions like UPKRC in this case, and then because UPKRC can really just partner with linguistic department or other schools. So if you have any questions, you can always send an email to our department.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Bess. So with that, we are now closing our session for the research presentation. So let's give our centers a round of applause. So make sure you press our